All right, guys, this is a 2014 Nissan Sentra. I believe it applies from 2013 to 2019. This is just the 4-cylinder. I think that's all they come with, a 4-cylinder. We're gonna replace the AC compressor. There's our new one from Amazon right there. If your AC isn't blowing cold air or is making, the compressor is making a noise, whatever it may be, obviously it could be other things. Check your refrigerant levels, make sure you're not leaking. You can check the compressor relay and make sure it's getting power at the pigtail, things like that. But if you rule out all that and you decide you need a compressor, here's how we're gonna do it. First thing you wanna do, evacuate your refrigerant, hook up your tank and everything, and then I'm gonna take this front passenger wheel off and we're gonna get to the serpentine belt and then we're gonna get underneath the car right here, and that's where the compressor is gonna be. So let's do it. All right, guys, we got this front wheel off. The lug nuts are 21 millimeter, or at least they should be. Here's your splash guard, your fender liner here. It's got these clips all around it, and from underneath there's a couple 10 millimeter bolts we're gonna pull off, and we're gonna have access to fold this back and just rest it up here. We'll have access to the serpentine belt. Okay, guys, here's what I mean by folding back that fender liner. Now we have access to our compressor right there and our serpentine belt. Now the bolts for the compressor come through the side that way. So you're gonna want to take off this splash guard here. There's a few more 10 millimeter bolts that go down here, and we'll be able to peel that back as well, and we'll have full access. So do that now. All right, guys, here's your tensioner, your belt tensioner. It's the one right above your harmonic balancer. It's a 14 millimeter. You put your wrench on there and you actually go ahead and turn it clockwise like that, and you get slack and use your other hand to pull the belt off, set it to the side from this compressor. Guys, there isn't much room from the top. As you can see, almost everything's gonna be done from the bottom where we can get our hands on that compressor. Now here is the new compressor. I wanna show you there's 3 14 millimeter bolts, obviously your electrical connectors, and 2 10 millimeter bolts for the high and low side lines. So that's how you're gonna get this one in and out. I got the serpentine belt just folded to the side, so there's the compressor. So start working on those bolts and get this thing out of here. Guys, the high side line was kind of easy to get with my 10 millimeter ratcheting wrench, kind of like that. But the top line was hard to get. So I actually got an extension with the 10 millimeter socket all the way down there, and that was easy enough for that bolt on the bigger line, the low side line. Guys, I got the 3 compressor bolts out, and I was wrong. They're actually 13 millimeter. So for the other 2, I had to use a short extension, not a long 13 millimeter socket, a short 13 millimeter socket and a ratchet, and just work those out slowly. And here's the electrical connectors. The last thing I have to do, I got that black one off. I got to get this gray one out, and it'll fall right out, and we'll get the new one in. All right, guys, here is your old compressor out of the car. Compare them, make sure they line up. As you can see, this one says oil amount 90 cc. So convert that to ounces, that's about 3 ounces. This one from A Premium, I believe it was 165 bucks on Amazon. I like A Premium compressors, I use them a lot. This one says it's pre-filled with 150 grams plus or minus 20. So I think that's more than 90 cc. You're gonna have to drain it and fill up whatever 90 cc is to ounces. I think that's about 3 ounces for this compressor. And then, yeah, we'll put it back up. Here's the 3 bolt holes again, electrical connectors. You're gonna have to take off these plugs that plug the oil in there. Take off those plugs before you install. We also have these O-rings. They're gonna have to be seated, put them on the lines, and maybe put a dab of PAG oil or something to lube them up so they slide into these ports easily. So go ahead and get this new compressor up there and seated. All right, guys, we got all our compressor bolts tightened, electrical connectors plugged in. We're gonna do the lines, and here's my trick to get this bolt on for the big line, the low side line. Put a piece of paper towel in the bolt, and very steadily, where can you see it? You can see it right there where it needs to go down there. We're gonna reach it in and barely turn it, and that's my trick to get that bolt in there. That's the routing. It goes under this big hose in between another one. That port you see right there is for the high side, so it's not that one, it's above it. It's very hard to see. I'll see if I can zoom in. it's not helping much, but there it is. I'm on it, I'm screwed in. So now I'm gonna go the rest of the way and tighten that line down. All right, I ended up getting that other bolt for the other line also from the top, pretty easy. We're gonna go ahead and get our serpentine belt back on, again, 14 millimeter on the tensioner. Pull the belt back on, make sure it's seated properly on all the grooves and the smooth pulleys, if there is any. Make sure it's seated properly and it matches the wear marks the way it was before. So get that on, and then we're gonna put the splash shields on, this fender liner, get the wheel on, and we're gonna pull a vacuum on this system. For the belt routing, as this, it goes around the compressor and under this water pump here, and then back up and over the alternator. Obviously the belt tensioner around this crankshaft dampener, so there you go. All right guys, everything is buttoned up, the wheel's back on. So I actually need to drive over to an outlet. You'll need an outlet for your vacuum pump, and you'll hook your vacuum pump up to your gauges. I'll show you how to set that up once I get over to an electrical outlet. Here's how I got my AC gauges hooked up to the vacuum pump. Yellow line goes there, blue and red are open and they're hooked up to the service ports, and those knobs are open. So you turn on your pump and you see your pressures go negative, so it's sucking out any air and contaminants. Let this vacuum pull for a while, about 20 minutes. Let it pull, and you can even close your gauges and turn off your pump and make sure that it stays negative and your needles don't start to creep this way, because then you have a leak. So let it pull vacuum, and then also check your sticker. This car, but check for your car. This one takes 0.99 pounds, which is about 15.8 ounces of refrigerant. I use these small cans. They come in 12-ounce cans. So I'm gonna have to crack into a new one to put those extra 3-4 ounces in. But there you go, guys. After this vacuum is pulled, I got my can hooked up and this knob is open. Here's how we purge this yellow line. Tap on the Schrader valve. Now all the air's out and it's just refrigerant in this line. Now we can open our low side. You charge it through the low side. So now this is open, this is still closed. We're gonna turn on the car, put the AC on full blast, and then we'll open this knob and it'll start pouring in to the system. All right guys, we got that AC charged up and it is freezing cold. Feels really good on this hot summer day. So there you go, that's how you do it, guys. Thanks for watching.